I do want to be a curmudgeon. Let's do the cane shaking segment.
Cane shaking segment.
I want to do more segments now that we're on video. Cane shaking segment. He's got a cane and he wants to shake it. He's mad because you are young and he's old and he wants you off the world's lawn. Knock it off. Stop being so young all the time. I can't walk, so I'm shaking this thing that I used to help me walk.
Dan, it's good to be back.
So, I was listening to a police advocacy lawyer on, which is a great gig these days. It's the hourlies are like the police advocacy lawyer on NPR, and they were talking about the Garner autopsy and how the pathologist ruled it a homicide. And the lawyer's response was, well, homicide just means that one person's life was ended by another person. It doesn't mean a crime was committed. And he's right, I guess. But it really leapt out at me, and this is called the cane shaking segment, so you can't get mad at me for connecting these dots. I wanted to roll down the window and shout at the millennial generation, this is where wordplay gets you. This is where refinement of language these are your bedfellows. These are the people who speak perfectly. These are the people who are very polite. They always mean exactly what they're saying, or rather, they never do. But they never say the wrong thing. They never use the wrong words, and they're advocates of murderers. But it's not murder; it's homicide. So get your shit together and get off my lawn. I do find it's kind of a rare. It's a weird moment in the news right now, like a strange harmonic convergence where it kind of actually feels like the things that are in the news right now are the things that the news is usually distracting us from. There is the death of journalism is in the news right now, which is the most important thing to be in the news since the death of journalism. The Rolling Stone thing is a hot button. I won't touch it, but it has brought the concept of journalism dying and what responsibilities are and how journalism actually works to a generation that seems to, maybe justifiably because of the new media, overwhelming them with an increased news cycle. There's a lot of old disciplines that have been forgotten, confirmation of sources and things. There's still good journalists out there, but let's face it, the worlds of that we used to call tabloid and all these things, we used to have different compartments for these things, and since the 1920s, they've all been kind of merging. I mean, it's a gradual, slow thing, but spiked with the internet. What the hell is the difference between real news and it's not? You just real news sites. They still have the same fucking weird clickbait stuff. You can't tell the difference. But now that cops are choking people to death and there's cameras everywhere, I don't know. You think maybe there would be a little golden age resurgence of journalistic integrity? Maybe because there's crazy shit happening. It's becoming very clear that being a team player isn't necessarily the secret to world peace. It's just been kind of a leitmotif.
What would you call, looking
so.
backwards, what would you call the golden age looking back of journalism? When did you think?
Oh, definitely 1985. I mean,
was there ever a time that
I read you the following review of Back to the Future. Scintillating with his beautiful locks of gossamer hair. I don't know.
I told you when I walked out of Back to the Future, I was in New York as a kid in 1985. Was that when it was? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I came out of the theater like
it's a mnemonic device. The whole movie's about 1985.
All right. I told you this, right? I walked out of the theater, and everybody poured out of this Lowe's theater in New York on the West Side, and everybody was beaming. Everybody was so happy. We almost kind of walked out holding hands, it was the most together you ever saw New Yorkers in my life. And they walked out, and some guy was he was kind of I would put him probably at 35. I was at 11 at the time, or 10, 11. And this guy just kind of shook his head, kind of happily. He goes, "Spielberg did it again." and we all kind of paused. He kind of ruined the moment, but we all yeah, he fucking did it.
He presented it again. That screenplay took 7 years to write, by the way. Get off my lawn. It took 7 years to write. You can't just shit these things out.
When's your screenplay coming out, Dan?
It's 7 years and it'll be good. And men stretch back. You gotta let them stretch back. It's just a pulpit for my agenda. People shouldn't have to get milk. It's bad for you. Someone asked me to get milk. I heard someone say what? They gasped, what? Just explaining.